If past cannabis laws in Virginia created barriers for you, whether in employment, education, or housing, or created lasting challenges for your family or community, the current legal framework includes a specific mandate aimed at addressing those very impacts. This isn't just about legalizing a substance, it's about a portion of the law designed to foster repair and create new pathways. That mandate is carried out through the Virginia Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund. Today, we'll provide a clear explanation of its purpose, break down the specific types of scholarships, grants, and community investments it supports, and clarify who the law intends to benefit from this critical component of Virginia's legalization model. Here's the context. To fully understand these potential opportunities, we must examine the legislative intent codified in the Virginia Cannabis Control Act. The law doesn't treat legalization as an isolated policy shift. Instead, it explicitly ties the establishment of a legal market to the advancement of social equity, directly acknowledging the disproportionate social and economic burdens caused by decades of selective enforcement. To operationalize this intent, the General Assembly created the Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Board. This body is more than an advisory committee, it is the statutory administrator of a dedicated and protected fund. This fund is fueled by a mandatory allocation of 30% of all state cannabis tax revenue. Let me emphasize that this isn't discretionary general fund spending. This is a legally required, ring-fenced investment directed toward healing specific, documented historical harms. Its operation is intentionally separate from the commercial licensing functions of the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority, ensuring its sole focus remains on community and individual support, not industry development. Here's the legal explanation. Let's break down the tangible provisions in the statute that move this from concept to potential opportunity. The board's primary duty is to administer the Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund. The Code of Virginia directs this fund toward several key areas, which we can think of as distinct channels for support. First, the development of scholarship programs and educational or vocational resources. The board is tasked with creating these for historically marginalized persons. The statute specifically includes individuals adversely impacted by substance use, those in foster care, and, centrally, persons and communities historically and disproportionately targeted by past drug enforcement. This represents a direct investment in human capital and future earning potential. Second, the implementation of grant programs for workforce development. This includes funding for job training and placement services, apprenticeships, and mentoring programs. These grants are not typically awarded to individuals directly, but to qualified organizations, nonprofits, community colleges, training centers, that serve these historically impacted communities. The goal is to build sustainable pipelines to skilled employment. Third, support for reentry services. This is a crucial component for individuals returning to society after incarceration, addressing a key point of friction that can hinder successful reintegration. Furthermore, the law carefully specifies the board's composition to ensure it is guided by relevant expertise and lived experience. It includes citizen members with professional backgrounds in education, public health, and workforce development. Importantly, the statute mandates the inclusion of a member who has been previously incarcerated for a marijuana-related crime. This ensures the board's decisions are informed by direct understanding of the very impacts it seeks to address. Who it affects. This framework directly affects a defined group of Virginians, those who meet the statutory criteria of being historically and disproportionately targeted and affected by drug enforcement. But what does that look like in practical, everyday terms? It can include several categories of people and organizations. First, eligible individuals seeking educational advancement or vocational retraining through the scholarship and resource programs that may be established. Second, nonprofit organizations and community-based groups in cities across the Commonwealth, like Norfolk, Portsmouth, or Richmond, that can apply for grants to expand their existing job training, mentoring, or reentry support programs. Third, public entities, like local workforce development boards, seeking funding to launch new initiatives targeted at economic mobility in specific neighborhoods. Finally, entire communities stand to see a tangible reinvestment in local programs that address economic disinvestment, violence prevention, and public health, the very issues exacerbated by the war on drugs. For residents, homeowners, and business owners in these affected areas, the successful execution of this mandate represents the potential for a measurable increase in community resources, program availability, and local economic activity, moving beyond the individual to a broader communal benefit. Why it matters and what to watch next. Understanding this framework matters because it provides a pathway to access these state-created resources. It's not automatic, individuals and organizations must engage with the process. What to watch next includes monitoring the board's annual report, which details grant awards and fund allocations, and paying attention to public requests for proposals, RFPs, when new funding cycles open. The effectiveness of this equity mandate hinges on community awareness and participation. Here's a scenario. Consider a recent graduate in Hampton Roads who was denied federal financial aid due to a past cannabis possession conviction. They learned that the CERB has partnered with a Virginia community college to offer a scholarship program for people with such nonviolent records. They apply, providing documentation of their record and enrollment. The scholarship, funded by cannabis tax revenue, covers their tuition for a trade certification program. This scenario shows the direct, individual-level impact of the law's equity provisions. Here's a question for you. What type of local community program, whether in education, job training, or support services, do you believe would make the most significant difference in your area, and why? Share your constructive perspective in the comments below. If this explanation of Virginia's equity programs was informative, please like this video. To stay updated on the implementation of these and other cannabis laws in the Commonwealth, subscribe for more authoritative educational content. For deeper discussion on local opportunities and community impact in Norfolk, you can join the conversation at the Norfolk City Cannabis Community Forum.